Kindly request you to stay on with me. Now, thick smoke was seen rising over Bahrain's capital, Manama, following reports of fresh Iranian strikes. According to initial reports, the fire appears to be coming from a naval base used by US forces. The base is home to the US Navy's 5th Fleet, a key American military presence in the region. There is no official word yet on the extent of the damage or possible casualties. With that, let me go across to Major Mohammed Ali Shah. Sir, thank you so much for being with us here on the broadcast. Sir, in your opinion, do you think that more players are now going to be drawn into this conflict, and soon we'll see perhaps a more all blown out war with numerous countries also retaliating? Because from what we're seeing at the moment, countries in West Asia that Iran is actually attacking are per se not responding, as in sending missiles into Iran at the moment.
Right. Why those countries are not responding is because even they know that these attacks are not on those countries. As a lot of Western media, especially, is bringing out, those attacks are specifically on the American military bases of those countries, such as Kuwait, Qatar, Bahrain. But then again, my question here is UAE does not have an American military base. Why was there a missile fired at UAE? Now, if Ayatollah Ali Khomeini was alive today, he would not have allowed the firing on these Middle East countries, firing missiles over there. He definitely would not have allowed, because he had sent a message loud and clear that if at all we do strike, we will strike bases of those countries specifically and not on those countries. Now, a very big mistake. Firstly, I would like to compliment the brilliant analysis, yes, of by Shruti Das Gupta. I think she was bang on the spot. In fact, it is totally contrary to the military tactics. You cannot go firing helter and skelter. But then at the same time, I would say why this is happening is because you tend to put on a person till the time the person is scared. When the person is not scared, then where's the fear? What is the person going to lose? Then the person gets totally fearless and the person goes helter skelter, the person runs amok, the person can go anywhere, because the person doesn't fear. That's what they say in Hindi. Itna mat darao कि डर ही निकल जाए. So Iran has already lost what it had to lose. It cannot lose any further. America, what was the American strategy? Okay, they wanted to gain occupation or their control over Iran for three purposes that I would see it as. First, the oil reserves in Iran are very, very rich. Secondly, they would get a control over the Strait of Hormuz, where the oil, 40% of its oil that we draw comes from Iran, in fact. The oil goes to China. Thirdly, by American influence in Iran, they would have an influence over the entire Middle East, over Gulf, in fact. The way they have made military bases in Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, and several other countries. So that was America's aim, to change the regime, to put a puppet government over there. But by killing Ayatollah Khomeini, I think it's a very big mistake that they've made, because the morale of the Iranians, of course, it suffered. Everybody would be sad. But their intentions became even stronger, that they will now, there's no question about them surrendering. It's out of the question. They will not surrender. When they saw an 86-year-old man who was born on 19 April 1936, he was, in fact, he was the president of about a decade of Iran as well. And for 36 years, he served as a supremo. There were several assassinations attempts on him. He was paralyzed from the right arm because of the assassination. And he was exiled for 3 years. In fact, he was arrested 6 times. When they saw a man who did not surrender, his son, Mujtaba, who has taken over, who would be taking, in fact, who is now the supremo, they had a replacement ready. When they killed the commander-in-chief of the IRGC, they had Brigadier General Ahmad ready. He took over. They killed 7 superior leaders of Iran. They had a replacement ready. Does that mean that Iran will surrender? Iran, when they will not surrender, they definitely will not surrender. there were peace talks between America and Iran in the first week of February, where both the nations said, okay, we made a good start, we must continue it. And they were perhaps on the verge of brokering a peace, in fact. But then America also had sent their fighter jets, they had sent their aircraft carriers, supporting vessels, USS Abraham Lincoln. They had made heavy deployments. So would have quietly gone and assassinated him. They had every small detail, minute to minute, second by second, where he goes, what he does. They had the location ready. They did it in less than 24 hours. They killed their top military commanders, their top leadership. They finished it off. But by finishing, like, in a game of chess, when you finish off the top leadership, the queen, the game comes to an end. But here, it was on ground. Here, they had to, what America and Israel did not see coming is, if they kill the top leadership, their determination of fighting on will go even stronger. And Iran has got a cache of over 10,000 missiles. They may not be very strong militarily, they may not have a navy, air force, or such thing. They have proxies like Hamas, especially Hezbollah, Houthi. In fact, Yemen has come forward and they have supported Iran. But Yemen itself is a very small, poor nation. What will the support of, how will it matter? There's three major European nations, Germany, France, and UK. They have issued out a joint statement that they are going to fight with Iran because there's this kind of a behavior by Iran is unacceptable by them. That you are going reckless and you are firing all over the place. See, Iran, I have dealt with suicide bombers in J&K when I was serving over there. The psychology of suicide bombers is that, okay, I'm going to die. Definitely I'm going to die. I know it. But before I die, I am going to cause maximum casualty before I go. Now that is exactly, Iran knows very well that ultimately they're going to be taking a beating. They already have. But does it mean that they will give up? They will not give up. They will fight till the last breath, last man, last bullet, last missile. This America and Israel must also understand. Now, the very fact is America's bullying has been on for quite some time. There have been over 100 nations America has done military action. But till today, no one has stood up to them. Nobody has said a word to them. America has done military action over 100 countries. Look at Cuba. Look at Chile in 1973. They toppled the government. Look at in Iran in 1953. It happened earlier. In 2001, it happened in Afghanistan. Taliban was toppled. That's a good thing. Fine. In 2003, Iraq, when they got Saddam Hussein, they killed General Gaddafi in Libya for nuclear weapons. Where were the nuclear weapons found? No, not a single nuclear weapon was found. They went on a hunt for war against terror for Saddam Hussein.
All right.
But where was Saddam Hussein? I'll quickly conclude by saying where was Osama bin Laden? Sorry, where was Osama bin Laden? The terrorist found. It was found in Pakistan, and that same Pakistan, US Donald Trump Saab is calling failed Marshal Asim Munir to have a meal with him at White House and serving him biryani for 2 hours. The menu on the lighter side, the menu of White House is not even biryani. But I don't know, they went out of their way, they catered for biryani perhaps for him. So I think here there was a man who actually stood up to US bullying, and it's about time that someone stands up to US bullying, in fact. But also at the same time, people should be cautious that Iran has now going to go helter-skelter and going to be firing all over the place because they have nothing to lose and they but have to be cautious about it. What about, will it lead to world war or has a world war began? Well, I will tell you, I'll give you example of 1914 to 1918 particularly per se. In the First World War, America refrained for many years. For 3-4 years, America refrained that we will not join the World War. Then 3 of American ships were put down when they had surrounded. They were protecting UK, in fact, that time, and that's the time America was forced to enter the First World War. The Second World War happened. It was different than First World War. Third World War. Look at Pakistan and Afghanistan. They had war. In fact, the Noor Khan Air Force Base in Pakistan, which we had bombarded during Operation Noor, it took them 10 months of hard work to rebuild it again.
All right.
Afghanistan comes
Sir, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but I have some more developments coming.